Hey folks, I have to admit, building this vintage Aurora kit of a Gotha bomber, a Gotha G.V bomber, has been a lot of fun. I've only been working on it a couple of days, but it reminds me of a few years ago when I undertook a project to build most of the Aurora warbirds. The company had produced, I think, 20 kits from the late 1950s through the early mid 1960s. Of course, there were reboxings. I picked up a Gotha bomber, in fact, this one, but never built it. And now I am, and it's a whole different experience of model making, something I've moved sort of away from in the past couple of years. But I have to say I'm delighted getting back to it, thanks to Trey and his suggestion that we build a couple of these old kits in a buddy build. So anyway, it doesn't look like much, but I have spent a fair amount of time at the workbench because the interior of this kit, not surprisingly, like all of the Aurora kits from this era, this particular series, is pretty bare. So in effect, I'm building an interior for the Gotha 5. And that has required me to, use my imagination a little bit, do a little bit, oh my goodness, scratch building, create a floor panel that runs the length of the interior from the front gunner back through the pilot's area where the bomb bay used to be, but where fuel tanks will be on the 5, and then the final station back here where there also is a gun mount. I have picked my 3 crew members. One of them was already painted, this fellow over here. These 2 I put together from little resin kits, just a couple of swabs of CA glue and then primed and zenithal primed them. The pilot here and another figure here who will either be at the front gun or the back gun. Now the interior, besides not having a floor, which I have now done thanks to evergreen plastic, only had a couple of pieces here. This divider, the seat, a control panel, and a joystick, steering wheel. That's it. Well, I'm going to be adding to that. I have constructed a fuel tank. I'd love to have a duplicate, but they're supposed to be stacked one on top of each other from the one diagram I can find in the 5. The 4 had the fuel tanks underneath the engines in the nacelles. Not a good place to be for planes that tipped over on landing and where the hot engine was basically exploding into the fuel tanks, but that's another story. So I've been going through a lot of my old kits and finding frame pieces here. And then, of course, finishing them and painting them. I replaced the machine guns. These Parabellums, I think they are much better quality than the ones that came in the Aurora kit. But I'm going to continue to add on and build out the cockpit before I seal it all up. And I've ordered, because I had a very thin supply of evergreen plastic of any sort. So I did a bit of searching and shopping online. Don't have a hobby store anywhere near here that sells evergreen plastic, believe it or not. And ordered some appropriate pieces so that I can build out an interior. It won't look exactly like this, which is a picture from the Wingnut Wings, because this is of the G4, which has the bomb storage and actually the area where the bombs drop down through right in the center section there. That's actually over behind the pilot area. That's where the fuel tanks will be. But I'll get those in place. And yeah, I think it's going to look pretty good, probably barring, of course, that famous proviso and caution, the rigging, getting the interior constructed will probably be well more than half the build. Hey, just like a Wingnut Wings kit, except this one I'm sort of doing myself. And I'm very happy about the process. And it's a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be a credible looking aircraft when all is said and done. So that's the update. You'll note that very few pieces, actually no pieces have been cemented together yet. That false floor, not false floor, the floor panel there is just popped in and fitted in. I will, of course, apply some cement to it to put it in place. But it's been a lot of cutting, sizing, searching, priming, and painting. I did construct the fuel tank. That was originally 2 fuel tanks from Sopwith Camels. But put them together and it sort of resembles one of the main fuel tanks of a Gotha 5, at least according to an illustration that I found. So there'll be more. I am going to see if I can get most of the other pieces sorted out for the interior tomorrow. And if not, I'll be painting the pilot and one of the other crew members. That's always fun. I really enjoy that. Okay, that's the update for today. This is fun. I am enjoying myself. Maybe even a little bit more, dare I say, than when I'm building a Wingnut Wings kit. The heresy, the blasphemy. That's okay. Everything's fun if you get involved and do things with a passion. Thanks for watching, folks.